I think say papa kandapa nyamani ebi wo honoma ohunsu yi
Time
ase ne dwuma na nkasa no ohunsu yi because e ka so ye national security minister just say you are looking at nyama bebre but say your national security na nkasa ne so no it has not grown enyi but enyi.
Okay.
Look at your friends saying even American CIA, FBI, from time to time, we release their friend declassified reports. It's a Juma or more like for the past maybe 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 100 years. Now, we release at the Atuja. So the researchers. So ebetimi
97.7 FM
information bia ebetimi akohonom na yahwe emayehu etuma ya national security ne edi ede eboayen iti NSA opese unhu omo ka ya papa Kwame Nkrumah aba ntugo ne enho a American CIA omo
97.7
ayenim de oji sika ahia yede ma no wan sanema nyina but and I go to national security a friend is a office via
Time FM 97.7
ope say o visit omo archives. I mean ebeyasem it won't happen. Na the America esisu nyina na ese eneno national security ne it has evolved. Your free be human security.
97.7.
Human security, and I say, say, to my mufono, omo etomo. Nafi bibia so a ebeko kofa your friends say at renchim bi aba enomnesa nema na. National security na nasisa your friend is say ejuma no. Omo behwe na omo esi anokwan. Take your friend is saying
97.7 FM.
Yeah, if we had a national security, a general so omo eyo omo ejuma said yes, it should not have happened. It should not have happened. But
97.7 FM.
Basic problems and as a challenges your national security in the crown bonnet intimate and resolve it. And me na so say my dreamy na regime security instead of say but a man for no buying set him move for no buying akokoye regime security intina as a
97.7
a woni tima e so kese e sombo na emanene ene so obebo ekufu ado ho buying intine niame bi koso anase ekika kansen bia ase ye wusu ekunya
kaka 97.7
sorry. This is where we are. We have to change our mindset now. And Obi Tisora Kandapa, he might need an orientation. Be a uncle school kakra young orienting on new forms of security. Food security,
97.7
energy security, power security. I mean, this is what the national security minister should be involved in. It is not about the media. Your friend is saying, coup d'etat, there were media freedoms, and the press have a right to discuss any issue from A to Z. Boba, your friend saying, academic
97.7 FM.
Academic freedom. Under academic freedom, no idea is ironclad. Idea be any honoma, ya can't set a dear just say, din science mean ya hore. You better to your bedroom, you better one sem, you bet
97.7 FM.
If national security minister, some more can say, my uncle could it down once a month. May dream one, may tiasie. And I think, say, Emerson, say, or moving who said, there are many other factors. If not dream nane, say yembo abine ho eban. Of course, yembo abine
Time FM 97.7
be enkonkoto ember. But you cannot stop citizens and I see the people from thinking about our option because it is within their rights.
Time FM 97.7
because we have the right to think about our name and so. The ontena nekunya nesu na on hwehwe nimdeɛ na nimdeɛ na yɛde
97.7
if people are thinking about that, it is on a rational basis. We share Abantugu akoso abakosem nina from 1966, 69, 71, 81 all of them have given the reason of economic mismanagement. Internet say economic
97.7 FM.
Then they have to, your friend is saying, advise Aban. Say, hey, Monshe na montutu niema yi na ankon kofa Aban to go amba. The advice and it should go to Aban. It shouldn't come to us. Now,
97.7 FM.
Political movements, civil society organizations, universities, and as academia, any journalists.
What's more narratives? Ne ya nkuntumpo.
Also the narratives na
ya ne nkuntumpo. Say the music come on some no mashe daye anya social media platforms bi na moye so loud ho no. Mano den ho ne say the music come on some na ya na mota catch abanfo no. Ya ne nkuntumpo wom.
Ensembeng. Look, say
Time FM 97.7.
What they fight you share your friends saying Saudi Arabia. What they your boss Saudi Arabia because you and your democracy. It's in the Ghana cry a democracy and a Saudi Arabia and your democracy. And so near my penny 14 year ewa han muse.
97.7
name whom post or more yet. Because the basic ewo memo honum as a petronija. It is important for us to understand, right? And Cecilia da Papa and Wasemu. What about the other ministers? And by now, your national security at etik nehuso na etik nejumasia. And Komube who said they are
97.7 FM
and foremost to the state and citizens of Ghana. And by now we should see searches. Sanka ye bomb ministers in our search because aqua sanitation minister it can be any other person's too.
Time 97.7 FM.
She see katasumi muaso. It's ubu of mine say how do you think citizens and I say a man for so everything quite be a better so idea to by any means necessary ye be to it's when ye kika near it's not saying high the truth of the matter is say omayene ekoyi ubuni ye ene ya bakosem emunsem etiseng ebu ebra anasi ekeshia
Time
factors
FM
we
97.7
positive. Then there was a osa chinasi na onsem na wokan no onwi ni ye na wode betuja. Part of national security ne say mrebia ne so no mobe make sure say mo kan sema
97.7
enyen sema edi ebufuo ba ensem bi say na edi ebufuo ba. And akoko to say your friend is saying LGBT in common. The more na ye can, the more na ye tria wa man 14. Ti kudita na sisi ano wasa akoko kenyan or the aba. And we are seeing what has happened in Niger, what has happened in Mali, what is happening in elsewhere.
97.7 FM.
And in some soldier for their colleagues, your friend is a military army officers, almost a Ghana or Mutie. And they are seeing it. Now, me who video be an friend say
97.7 FM.
Oka say coup d'etat Ghana, he will be the first person to support it. He's a rational being. Adinti enobe kasasa. Or kasasa because the democracy now Ghana it is not working. Eye juma. Obi eni hon mo beba be jina bonti akika kasansem no. Look, Oko baby to say Scandinavians, Denmark, Honum, any other. Or more free education from primary to university. Free. Or more free, your friend is a medical, your friend is saying care.
Time FM,
housing, any other. In fact, on mine by the time I will do 18, on mine throw letter. Now, the although to your friend saying, salary so obey to your command stipends getting ebe den na wunya odo more mine
97.7
because bibia hwehwe bia no o mine ne aye amao munsio munsem waduane mo ho no na the data abroad from national security yaduane ensem your friend saying situation e from internet say yempese ekom ebedia then there I will see a grow be a more wheat I will see a grow more maize I will see a yes and they put it into their relevant to the lives of the people. I can national security and a bagana food because I mean if you trust them they bribe near high near they are so amount for a few studios. I to go and answer questions from the FM. Indeed, they themselves have a very bad history. Yeah, cannot cry. They have a very bad history. And we say, Omankasana, from that point. Now, Omo take key steps to change our perception. But how do you change that perception? You change that perception by genuinely committing yourself to working for the people. And no pet any bit to me aji or mine and no pet any bit to me say from your friend is saying coup d'etat and on the day say coup d'etat seen
Time
are we saying that journalists and I say academics young and I say civil society organizations we will discuss it. This is where we are because the nation, the state must move on. Make a chatwo 1992 constitution because the 1992 constitution is itself a beneficiary of your friend is coup d'etat. The 1992 constitution is honomo it's because the 1992 constitution said abain to go more to abai egu year from 1966 and only it is more no. None of them should be held responsible or accountable for their actions. None. Now, our constitution be not a casa same way. What does it mean? It simply means to say coup d'etat is legal.
97.7
but don't be caught. Coup d'etat is legal, but don't be caught. Because you're sure, and then you face the consequences. But you're sure there are a number of factors, and I hope that and I know they would take some seeds from it and help and galvanize the nation in a positive way. Your friend is saying, "Oh my name into my paper."
Right. Bio mosa chire mu se asensem no ya na mokano ase bi won ma ye ni da ho e bo so bi a monhye ne nso sa se bia mani ma mo ho so de mo keke ka no a threat to your stability said the oman no said the oman hye no oman si akwa koduro no ene de mo keke ka no e ma de oman hye ni nyina ebedwiri nagu ena you see awato mu nkyene se 1992 constitution class so support Coup if say oye ni ancho de afa ho de chodi a ena constitution bitimi ne wadi I think constitution be in a way so would not to go here not as a miracle when they walk akogina baby send ya ancho no but they okay dem say na any day enkope
even I say your friend saying constitutional what the indemnity clauses have been I'll see you a dodua memo democracy. Under the maxims of democracy, the political science are me. And they said there is equality before the law. There is rule of law, it's equality before the law.
Right.
But equality before the law, if you equal before the law, the indemnities. What you are simply saying is that there view, some people are over and above the laws of Ghana. But I kind your friend saying a year 1992 constitution indemnity section. Kebe me the pan say ubetimi akaya na say many constitution and my kind just a small section. Actual. It's very clear. Say there be the 1992 constitution it has nothing to do with democracy. Take your friend is saying indemnity clause in 34.7. Or say it is not lawful for any court or tribunal to entertain any action or take any decision or make any order or grant any remedy or relief in any proceedings instituted against the government of Ghana or any person acting under the authority of the government of Ghana, whether before or after the coming into force of this constitution, or against any person or persons acting in concert or individually to assist or bring about the change in government which took place on the 24th day of February 1966, on the 13th day of January 1972, on the 4th day of June 1979, and on the 31st day of December 1981. In respect of any act or omission relating to or consequence
the overthrow of a government in power before the formation of the National Liberation Council.
This is the point. This is where we are. 1992 constitution is, and let me give you one example. Bruh, in common, there are people who worked with Sabain. Sabain be the nipa, and Sabain in a bay.
Yeah.
Abain to go no a buy.
Time FM 97.7.
A be a fear or more team or more properties or more a team or more jiffy or more same. Simply because their crime was said they were associated with the CPP of Kwame Nkrumah and worked with the CPP government. They are still occupying. Some of them are still occupying. Your friend is saying the houses, properties,
right.
Now, 1992 Constitution is a no court, no tribunal, no state institution has the right to be assembly. Now, what's your mind near account? What she say? How do you expect the
97.7 FM?
And this is what your 1992 Constitution is saying. The any only any brain free journalists who also your friends academics, activists, fighters.
Tie 97.7 FM.
Now they should focus on the fundamental. The 1992 Constitution is bogus. It is not a constitution worth the name, and I say what it claims to be fighting for a democracy. It is not. It's in Mreaso. Say you best set up a new elected constituent assembly, natural constitution. As that constitution, it brings all of us under the authority of that constitution. That is the only time if you bet me, I can say, oh, we have a constitution or what the morality to speak against coup d'etat.
97.7.
And yes, idea they should forget it because everything shows. So the state itself is pro coup d'etat.
Said the Wusika won't say media. Now, as an Indian no yakoye pese, minim do Canada, sana etie, +2, 34 indemnity clauses no. Na the mbeza me can say, was a monsam kekano. I thought I said the a corny potty mu and I say a beer margin mamma hosono. A bibia, a ma or maya sum be a bit me amana tappy if it's a as a modi no be duty and cophobitrim. Hello,
Kukru ni jaya kekena
97.7 FM.
Internet said they should focus on stopping the kukru. Said the beya kekena sono ebejai. We can't live in a country with this kind of constitution. No, look, if you're a democratic-minded person, human being, what take democracy as a you cannot hold yourself to live under a constitution like this. I was told to me, you can't also be in a country in Benifor Asia, stashing states, your friend is saying, into their private coffers near them. Look at their friends saying, Madam Cecilia, sanitation was sanitizing public coffers into her private home. That is what he's simply done. Now, sa niama we numna, sa Ghana for a clear. How do you expect people to relate and as react? It's in a kukru no. Enjoy na kekre ne so no. Enjoy. And yes, they go together. Yeti kukru. Kekre ne so beba.
Ya wo kukru ya wo so na se. Do kekre de na papa ya semi o ya kan no na se. Yesan mutire nyi papa evize de wo keke de je ku betimi asi
Coup betimi asi that one if otihonom na dream na ye ne se ku ntimi nsi dia then he's an amateur and not worth the position he's occupying as national security minister, because we are national security minister in the end crowd unia. You can seek it. Universities may try a home here. Go to the history department. Bisomo say, hey, said the name could it your friend is saying, therefore, no professors and the doctors and academia. Omo and control. National security, more your friend is saying, Omankas almost of we be a unfortunately, every time it's about party be winning. And American is that our national security has not grown in developing and as FMC Rebecca. But it's the truth. Because Anka by now we should have developed it is not regime security any the fact that we are still thinking about regime security in 2023 tells you that we have not made progress under this so-called democracy and under this so-called constitution. See, this is the time in every democracy, one of the things that democracy is and inclusion.
Oh, okay.
And how included do the people feel in the governance and decision making of this country?
97.7
are close to over 60% of the entire population. Almost the same, your friend is a number, a percentage.
Okay.
But how many of Southway, just 2 Mabwe, how many of them are involved in the decision-making process of our country? Look at your friends and the executive. Utim Pai as the MFAO. You understand? Utim Pai Nasu Dream Utima Yemfao. The Ababe and Cochrane Mrewa and every opportunity beyond Benye Piani degree Massesa Obehe Kufuado national your friends the international conference via Nasi for no other. Such an embarrassment. But it's not that you need your friend is saying we do. And quality representation, a debating assembly said now I Japan, Bibi Omokan Biana, no assigning. Ebi ne de your friend is in Safoma for koye ya or sign a document any brofum. German kasa. Also I won't mean kind German. So why did you sign the document? See, baby I do know. These are some of the things. Make inclusion. Omo said the omo edit them physically challenged. And I see people living with disabilities. Where you my mo say. About 2 million. You have about 2 million physically, your friend is saying, Charlie, and I see people living with disabilities in Ghana. And so share parliament. How many of them are represented there? Share executive. How many of them are represented there? When it comes to decisions, imagine 2 million people in the streets. Inti ya papa kandapa asa sem no ono ankasa onti ase. No, okay. Because onti ase pa you won't come out to come and say nemeya or kicking.
All right. Etine seba se Coup asia enyo nwa bibre.
Oh, enya me wan kra.
Now, do you support that?
Enya me wan kra.
O support this.
I mean all the boxes that makes a coup d'etat ripe for a country, Ghana, now your friends saying people had just 2 WCs, and I wrote his more echichi or more kumkum or money idea. Just two toilets, water closet. A bit more there, just 50 Ghana cedis, 50 cedis a done account, and then if you at the bank account. And so they became the basis for a coup d'etat in the country.
Right.
How much more Cecilia Dapa? Cecilia Dapa alone is justification for a coup d'etat in Ghana. Cecilia Dapa Angwa. You see, national security, if they are really concerned about Omaini dia, and Omuntu, your friend is saying, Abainefo. Omuntu Abainefo, rather than so Mudi Omini Bre Ebabeswa. Journalist my then a journalist science yeah the more come and I say academia unless he's saying say media freedoms and interest na for academics most more your friends academic freedom no yin fi honomo then the civil society organizations ni movements ni activists ni fighters they have more there mompe baby crying unless that is what he wants to say. Eno o huka omra no meka ni nti